Welcome back, everybody. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Aaron.
This is our show, Cryptocosm, where I talk about the astrological forecasts.
And I bring you your daily crypto news.
We have a lot of crypto news and a lot of astrology to talk about for you today.
That's right. We're going to take a little trip back in time
That's
today.
right. We're going to get really excited. We're going to talk about why we're doing this, why we're so excited, what the future is to look forward to, and we're going to go backward to figure out what's going ahead forward. All right?
That's right.
So we've already kind of alluded to this May 15th. What is going on May 15th, 2018? This is a huge date.
I can't wait.
I'm excited.
I really can't wait.
We're going, okay, you know, everyone talks about how easy it is going down the hill. Well, this time I think we're going to be going up the hill, and these numbers are going to go up, 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 up. And I'm really excited about that.
I am. To the moon, my friend.
To the moon.
To the moon.
So here we go. We have Uranus, not Mayanus, moving into the sign of Taurus on May 15th, 2018. Okay, so Uranus is our planet of revelations and breakthrough ideas, revolutions. Okay, not only revelations but revolutions. We have
evolutions.
That's right, and expect the unexpected when you have Uranus in the mix here. Okay, we have Taurus, which is our fundamental grounded Earth sign. All right, it is the most stubborn of Earth signs. I love Tauruses. I have a lot of Tauruses as friends, but they are the most stubborn out of all the zodiac is a Taurus. All right, they know it, and it's not even a bad thing necessarily. We need things to be stable and grounded in this world because there's a lot of instability. So we love our Taurus friends. So as we have the planet of unpredictability, the shake, you know, the lightning striking, moving into the grounded, stable sign of Taurus. All right, we're talking about a breakthrough and change of the things that we value. What do we value? We value this, okay?
A piece of paper?
A piece of paper. And does this piece of paper even have value to it?
For those that think it does.
For those that think it does. Now, this particular bill, I got off working on a movie set, okay? This is a $20 bill with Benjamin Franklin's face on it, all right? And it even says here that this note is not legal tender and used for any debt or public or private, okay? This is fake. But on every single dollar bill in your pocket, it says that this is good for something. It's good for...
something off the 99-cent menu, or perhaps...
Right. So, but this is all changing, okay? So when we talk about Uranus moving into Taurus, we're talking about a serious change in money, okay? We're talking about breakthroughs, revelations in the way that we trade money.
A serious change in the perception of money, too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So the last time now, Uranus takes 84 years to go around the zodiac. 84 years. So the last time that it was in Taurus was 1934. June 6th, as a matter of fact. June 6th, 1934. Aaron, do you know what happened on June 6th, 1934?
As a matter of fact, I do. That's actually the actual date that the SEC, the Security of Exchange Commissions, was founded.
By FDR, the President of the United States, signed to the day that Uranus moved into Taurus 84 years ago. Now, what is the Exchange Act?
Well, it really has centered around the enforcement of the regulations of the Exchange Act of 34, and not only the Exchange Act of 34, but the Securities Act of 33. Now, let's talk a little bit about those real quick. Let's back up to 33, the Securities Exchange Act of 33. Now, what that is the regulation of the securities and the primary distribution of your stocks, your bonds, and things of that such. And it's really interesting to see the correlation between what was happening then now and what is happening today with cryptocurrency. And that is they're really just changed, just a couple of months ago, just changed the laws to where cryptocurrency now falls in line with the Securities Exchange Act of 33, I'm sorry, the Securities Act of 33 and the Exchange Act of 34. It's definitely a mouthful. And what we're seeing is the anti-fraud prevention,
right?
The enforcement of accredited investors, the breakdown for individuals that are basically monitored, you know, in terms of investing. Anybody with big money in their pockets, they're going to keep an eye on you. They really are. And not only that, in the Exchange Act of 34, they have the regulation of the secondary markets. And that's your coin-to-coin exchange and your any other exchanges that happen to do with things of like kind.
Coin-to-coin exchange.
Coin-to-coin exchange.
Now, that was 84 years ago to the day that this was signed, okay? Securing our coin-to-coin exchange. Now, what happened on December 19th of 2017? Okay, Saturn, again, that's a 30-year cycle. Saturn moved into its home sign of Capricorn. Government, money, structure, karma, the king of karma, okay? December 19th, what happened? We have our taxation. So we are now being taxed for this. This money was originally looked at as like, let's be honest, it was looked at as like drug transaction and to buy like backdoor hookers. Let's be really honest.
It's sad. It really is.
When it was first talked about, okay, why somebody like myself or Aaron or any kind of decently intelligent human being was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy that. Why? Because I'm not buying drugs and hookers, okay? But now we're seeing this is all changed. We're not talking about the black web. We're not talking about this backdoor alley exchange anymore. When our government steps in, like they did at the end of 2017 and said, we're taxing, this is a real form of currency. We have Mark Cuban coming forward, okay, entrepreneur, billionaire, and he's got what, 10% of all of his equity wrapped up into Bitcoin. He's saying the Dallas Mavericks are now going to be accepting Bitcoin and all kinds of trade coming in this year, okay? He's a heavy hitter in this field. And we're talking about someone like that, we're making this official, okay? So it's like we have this bit of grace period right now where it's just like, where, we might be looking at these charts saying, well, nothing is happening, nothing's gonna happen. I'm gonna be honest with you, the astrology, nothing is going to happen. It's the beautiful part. That's why it's like, buy. Like this is go time. This is the time to put the money on the line and make these big moves because over the next couple months is what I'm seeing as far as the astrology movement goes. Once we hit, middle of March, moving through April, we're going to see a huge stir leading up to this solidifying of whatever change is coming our way come May 15th.
Yeah. And I think the individuals that are worried about the market not moving anywhere, they definitely want to take a look at their plans for the future in terms of, you want to really make sure you're taking profits at the top so that way when we get to these downtimes, you have something to do. You want to be able to buy back in when the numbers are this low.
Absolutely.
Be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy.
Right.
You definitely want to roll that up into your investment plan so you can make smart decisions moving forward.
This is the time. This is absolutely the time. And as we just talked about, the Saturn movement into Capricorn on December 19th, let's go back even further. We're talking about 1934 and Uranus moving into Taurus. When we're talking, again, evolutionary astrology, we're not talking about just one planet or just the sun in one sign. Let's take a trip way back.
How far back?
Let's go to 1287. Okay? We're going to go back all the way to 1287. Now, the last time that we had seen Saturn and Pluto both in the sign of Capricorn was all the way back then. That's 13th century.
So it took that long for this cycle to come back
That
around.
long for this cycle, for Pluto to be exactly where it is in Capricorn, for Saturn to come back to where it is in Capricorn. Now, a fascinating thing about both of these dates, it is 1283 was the date, okay, that Saturn moved back in, 1283.
We'll let it go. That's a far back time.
Let me slide on this one. There's a lot of numbers going up in this brain right now.
So what happened?
So not only do we're gonna come back to the Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn in just a second, but there's another key player in the game here, okay, and that is Jupiter. Jupiter is our big, fat, happy-go-lucky planet.
More.
It's
my favorite.
He says more. And both of these times, in 1283 and in 1934, Jupiter, and in 2018, Jupiter is in Scorpio. Sex, money, power, Scorpio, okay? What else does Scorpio represent? Not only just money, it's talking about other people's money. Okay, when we're talking about other people's money, we're playing a game right now with other people's money.
I like that kind of game.
So it's like, the more you invest right now, it's just like, your 401k or your company that you've been working for is like, well, every $1,000 you put in, we're gonna put in $10,000.
I wish, maybe $100.
Oh, really? But that's really the game we're playing. We're playing with guys that have little bits of money and guys that are big fishes with lots and lots of money All right, and your $100 can become $100,000 because if you're investing in the right now, if you had put $100 into Tron or $1,000 into Tron just a month ago, and it went from 3 cents all the way up to 30 cents, we're talking serious money. Okay, you need to know how to play this game. But because other people are investing crazy amounts of money, and now this is going to happen until November. This happened from October 10th, 2017 up until November. Change, I'll figure out the dates for you. But November, all right, we're playing this game until November of 2018. So we're talking about other people's money. All right, so that was also in effect in 1934. That was also in effect in 1283. Okay, when this planet's moved into Saturn. Now, let's go back into the 13th century for a quick minute here. We're talking about Knights of the Templar. We're talking about the Holy Wars. We're talking about, let's start right there, Holy Wars, okay? This is something that we're still seeing now.
Definitely familiar.
Right, and just to go back, jumping back into 1934, we had seen a dictator out of Europe, a country just a little bit larger than the state of Michigan, almost take over the entire world. We're talking about Adolf Hitler. All right, we're seeing some repeating patterns here. Okay, make Germany great again, make America great again. We all already know that these are the same things. Okay, we're seeing history repeat itself in a really messed up and weird way. Now, originally, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. At the time, Hitler had looked at America and the way that Christopher Columbus came over and slaughtered Indians, and basically said, okay, well, these Europeans coming over think that they're a superior race and they're going to come over here and they're going to purify this land. All right, so when without getting too much, but Hitler looked at us as a point of inspiration at one point and then said, okay, these guys are a superpower. They have way too much natural resources and they're not on the same page as me, and then looked at us as an enemy. So where are we at in 1934? We're talking about World War II. We're talking about the heart of the Great Depression.
Yep.
We're talking about our money being rations. Okay, the banking structures had just collapsed. Now, my great grandmother at the time, she's passed now. God bless her, lovely lady. But she would store money in shoe boxes and put them under bed because she did not trust the banks. Okay, now let me tell you, this year, if you're doing any sort of looking into the banking as is, we're going to see brick and mortar banks start to close. Okay, that is a fact. Why? Because of digital banking. Digital banking coming in here, we are not supplying the banks with enough numbers as far as revenue from myself or Aaron walking into the bank for there to be a clerk, if not 5 clerks in this bank to power the lights of this store. Okay, it's click of the phone, it's direct deposit. So what's going to happen when we start to see banks closing? The people are going to freak out. Okay, they're not closing down because there's no money. They're closing down because we're changing the way that we're working, okay? So we're changing.
You can have a bank account right in your own pocket, right in your own phone, and now anybody in the world that has a cell phone can have a bank account.
Absolutely. You don't have to walk in. You take a picture with your phone. It goes in. All right.
That's it.
That's where we're at. This
is
going to change. But we're still looking at, we're looking at digital banking, which is still analog. It's still analog. It's still over this, this piece of paper. When it's just like, okay, when we're talking about cryptocurrency, there is no, we see like Bitcoins, which are all of these made fabrication things, but it's Fugazi. It's not a real value. It's just the value of whatever the metal is that someone's created. It could be brass, it could be copper, whatever it is, but there's not a physical currency, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. That's correct.
So, all right, we're going into the digital age, the digital revolution. Bankings are going to start closing. Now, we're starting to see these cycles here between 2018 and 1934. We've already started to see this coming up. Before 2018, before even 2017, we've seen these patterns start to emerge. That's right. Now we're just in the thick of it, okay? So now, money's changing, the banks are changing, brick and mortar stores are going to close, and it's just like, 70% of what beef stock is thrown away every day, but the psychology behind it is if people saw that there was no beef on display at a store, they would think there'd be a frenzy, that there's not enough meat and we're going to lose it. So the same kind of philosophy is going to happen once we start to see this bank just closed its doors.
I think a lot of that has to do with people to hold on to what they're used to. They can't see this thing emerging out of nowhere, and really it's the banks that are crumbling around because this is like a volcano coming through.
Right.
And the news being
emerged. More that we take out. What do we have right now in cryptocurrency? How many billions of dollars in crypto?
Total market cap is approximately 550, give or take, 50 billion.
$550 billion that's invested in crypto. That means that's $550 billion that's been taken out of banks.
The total perceived value.
Perceived value.
Total perceived value. We definitely want to make that point.
All right. So either way, we're talking about billions of dollars.
Absolutely.
Billions of dollars removed from the ones and zeros of Bank of America or Fifth Third or Comerica or whatever local credit union you have, and is now deposited into this mysterious world of cryptocurrency. Okay? So now let's go back all the way to 1253 when we have a 1283 when we have
You're fired.
Yeah, we have Saturn moving into Capricorn. We have Pluto in Capricorn. And I will show you these charts. These are almost the same numbers, okay? These are almost the same degrees apart when they're moving into, just hundreds and hundreds of years later. And yes, this is the last time that this cycle has occurred, all right? So when we're talking about holy wars, we're talking about, I believe in this so much that this is going to be the new change, the new revolution, this new idea, this new wave, and I'm going to bring it on, and we're going to push forward and make sure that it happens, bloodbath and all, because this is the way of the glory of the new future. You know, I mean, we're in the age of Aquarius right now. We are in it. We are trying to figure out this new future and how everything falls. We're figuring that out. Now, one of the most unique things about this time is the Knights Templar developed a banking system. This is the first banking system to ever exist, where the pilgrims could actually leave their little satchel of gold and coins at the Church of London, and they could travel to Jerusalem, and they would basically, the Knights Templar would take a little note, and they would write that Aaron has X amount of money valued into our church, and here in Jerusalem, he can take that note and actually get his currency back. So that way he's not traveling from place to place with it, okay?
That's right.
We're talking about the very first kind of banking. Now here we are again, 2018, we're talking about a new kind of banking, investing in what you believe in. Now what do we always say on the show? Believe in what you buy what you believe in. So what is this new banking? You know, we have value behind a company. Is that right? Is that real? Are we actually valuing people for the first time?
I think one of the biggest things that's happening is we're decentralizing just the actual idea of money. We've unlocked this potential that was always there, but we didn't have really a way to capture it. You know, we're starting to see value in perceived ideas and with upcoming ICOs. We're starting to see value that's decentralized through the Internet of Things. We can capture data. We can monetize our own data. All these different systems that are now in place that allow us to capture more value.
More value. And again, right now, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I usually sit here and I'll have crypto charts on one side, astrology charts on the other. I haven't even looked. I haven't even looked at Binance. I haven't even looked at Coinbase. I haven't looked at GDX because I can see everything. It's like looking at, it's like looking at the Matrix, or if you know how to read code, it's just like I'm like, nothing is moving. Nothing is going to move. We're about to hit, this freaking lunar eclipse, the first lunar eclipse of the year. Okay, it's happening in the sign of Leo. Okay, so that's where the North Node is. When do we, the difference between an eclipse and a normal full moon or a new moon is that it resides within 10 degrees of the nodes. Okay, the nodes of the moon, just like an elliptical pattern. So if this is the North Node and the South Node, the moon moves around this elliptical pattern. Okay, just so we have an idea of what that is. And it takes about 1.5 years for the nodes, which move backward from everything else. Okay, so it takes about 1.5 years to move through these signs. So when we have the North Node in Leo, the South Node in Aquarius, which is like, it's saying, you've been the conductor. Now get out and do what you have to do. Okay, you've been in the background, you've been in the back, you've been the the person that's figuring it all out and saying this goes here and this goes here and this goes here. Well, now it's like this is saying now it's time for you to be the performer, for you to bring forward whatever it is that you do that makes you special and unique forward to the table. Okay, so it's if you're an artist, be an amazing artist. If you're a yogi, or you know if you have the gift of gab and you know how to talk to people and inspire people, we're in the times right now, and this is also astrology based. Since 2012, this is in a deficit of depression, the greatest. You know, it's funny because we're talking about 1934 being the heart of the Great Depression, and it's between Pluto up here in Capricorn, and it's been Aries, Uranus and Aries forms that square. That square finally ends when Uranus moves into Taurus this year, okay? But that has been happening, this square of these two planets has been happening since 2012. And yes, that has created an insane amount of depression to people when we have these squares. It's like, I want to move forward, but there's complications, things that have happened back in the 60s when those two planets were conjunct that's like bringing back forward, you know, the men and women's rights. You know, we're talking about the Black Lives Matter movement, all of these things. Okay, this is astrology-based stuff, and we're at the end of this square right now. Okay, where it's just like one moment you can be on your high and thinking, yeah, this is the best thing, and the next moment you're in, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't value my life. It can be very, very hard, and we're leading up to this eclipse right now. All right, but when we're talking about, and the eclipse happens on Wednesday, the 31st. Okay, now we're going to see a lot of ease come when that happens, which is a really wonderful thing. But again, talking about the north node of the moon being in Leo right now, and the eclipse happening in Leo, it's the same place it happened. 29 degrees was the great solar eclipse. 29 degrees that happened last year around August 21st of 2017. All right, so it's usually a 6-month cycle when we see these things. So it's just like, where have we come since August 21st, 2017, right? And what am I doing to make myself, what am I bringing to the table right now, okay? Another thing that happened back in the 1200s, in the 13th century, was paintings. You know, this is between like Egypt and Syria. It's like the barter system. Same with during the Great Depression. It was about bartering. Okay, we're gonna see this same thing happening now. It's just like, okay, well, I'm a yogi. I'll help teach you yoga. I'll help teach you perspective on life. And maybe you can, feed me for a day, or give me a back rub, or whatever it is. We're going to be helping each other out.
It's not only that; it's the technology that surrounds it that allows us to take these little tiny skills by themselves and make a living off of it.
That's exactly it.
Just like if you're a metal worker, if you're a stained glass painter, or I mean, now you're going to be able to make money off of hosting pieces of the internet, and you're going to be able to make money by posting blog content and rating blog content. All of these little tiny micro skills and these little micro economies are going to pop up all over the place. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be value unlocked like never before. Right,
and right now we just had Mars just this past week moved into Sagittarius. Mars in Sagittarius is, I'm looking for whatever it is. I'm going to walk in, and then there's 20 doors in front of me, and I have to, they're going back to Bob Ross. We're going to make these hard decisions. And it's just like, I've got to figure out which one of these doors to go through that's going to take me down the next path of my life. Maybe it's door number 1, maybe it's door number 2. I don't know, but I can't go backward. This is like Mario, old school Mario. It's linear. You're going left to right. You can't move back. We're only going forward in time right now. So it's just like figuring out, what are we going to study? What are we going to move forward to? Being the jack of all trades and master of none, or are you going to be the master of this? What is the master of your trade, and how are you going to bring that forward to people and utilize these tools to be able to barter when money is going to be a serious issue coming up over the next 2 years? Now we're running. There's so much information in this episode, I know. Here we go. This is the little last bit of time that we're going to talk about the 13th century and 2018 moving into 2020, okay? Now, Saturn and Pluto are actually going to touch base, okay? It's like Papa Bear is home, and he's got a really important meeting, and that meeting is in January 2020, all right? Now, again, all of these cycles, full moon, new moon, we've seen by looking at the charts, every time we have a new moon, okay, usually there's some hope and money kind of rises. So if you buy before a new moon, odds are pretty good your money's going to go up. If you buy at a full moon, which is going to happen on Wednesday, odds are pretty good that we've seen so far money's going down, okay? So when we talk about these planets, they're the same thing. A new moon is the sun conjunct the moon. A full moon is the sun opposite the moon, okay?
It's almost like a heartbeat.
It is.
When you see
exactly what it is.
Bloop,
so so we're going to have this full moon, this conjunction of Pluto and Saturn on January 2020, all right? So if that's the new moon, the question is, what was the full moon? Well, that's easy. It's September 2001. What happened on that full moon of September 2001? There's a lot of September 11ths, if you will, but there's one specifically that rings a bell that we call 9/11, September 2001, okay? That was perfect. It was the opposition of Pluto and Saturn, okay? And what happened to our country? Where are we going? 2020, January 2020. We're gonna take steps and get there, but are you starting to see these patterns kind of emerging? Our banking is messed up, okay? Our money is changing. This is changing. And right now we have this sweet spot opportunity of time where this new money is emerging. We have, what is the percentage of people, average people of America or the world that is actually involved in cryptocurrency at this point?
Approximately 2 to 3% of the population.
2 to 3%.
At most.
Now,
early adopters.
Now we're talking May 15th, second quarter of the year, when it's announced globally that these crypto cards are going to be Bitcoin accepted everywhere. And let's just talk real fast. Right now, we still, out of all of these cryptocurrencies, only two of these are universal players, and that's Bitcoin and Ethereum at this point in time, are the universal donors. Everything else you got to buy into through them. Okay, so when these say, okay, world, I'm ready, I'm a real currency, and then we have 2 to 3% of the people, and all of a sudden you're going to turn heads, and everyone's going to jump on the wagon. And we're talking about other people's money jumping in the wagon. What does that mean for our money that we've invested? It's going to go up.
That's right.
So right now is the time to buy, okay? So all of this going around the freaking history here is all about saying right now is this golden opportunity, the greatest time to buy since this came out, you know what I mean? Because we didn't know where it was, let's be honest, we did not know where this was going when it came out in 2013 or 2009 or 8, whatever it was.
It wasn't accessible to the mainstream. It's still barely accessible to the mainstream.
And it's right, it's hard. Like we talked about one of these last episodes, in the steps that you have to take, the hoops you have to go through in order to get your account hooked up, in order to just, okay, I'm ready to buy now, and not in small increments, but just put a chunk of money down.
That's right.
It's not an easy process, you know. So right now, seriously, look into this. We're gonna keep these rolling. We're new studio. We got a whole new look going on here. We got a lot of new information coming your way. We're excited.
Looking forward to it.
We're gonna get you excited. It is time to buy. Okay, we're hitting this. This means go, 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 go. Seriously, thank you so much for tuning in.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
That's right. We have, we're going to put some little things going on here for our YouTube and all that good stuff. Real quick, we have
the card of the day.
Card of the day. Do we have time?
Absolutely. Go ahead. Let's make it quick.
What do we got? We have by Vivian Green, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. Folks, this is the storm. We are in it right now. Those numbers are down, okay? It is a time to buy. Go play in the rain. Go play in the rain. We'll see you next time.
Cryptocosm.